What's up, everybody? Mono's NFL here, back with another podcast. So, I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the NFL draft, my thoughts on the Commanders draft, but most importantly, I want to talk about what I would have did if I was the Commanders GM and how I would have handled the draft. I do want to start off by saying I did like the Commanders draft. I have nothing negative to say. I'm not saying I would have did better than Adam Peters or anything like that. I just want to talk about what I would have did. So in 5 years from now, I can look back at this video and see why I would have succeeded in this draft or why I would have failed in this draft, and why did I pick the players that I wanted to pick, and why they turned out good or why they turned out bad. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But the NFL draft was very surprising. My mock draft was very, very inaccurate, but that was because of the Titans. I blame it all on the Titans. Nobody expected them to go Cornell Tate. I definitely didn't expect them to go Cornell Tate. And that kind of, the NFL draft is kind of like a ripple effect. One surprising draft move can like shake everything up. But I definitely thought they were gonna go Sonny Styles over Reese, and they didn't, and that just completely screwed my mock draft. But the draft was pretty cool. Gerard McCoy slipping out to the fourth round was probably like the biggest thing that happened. But other than that, it was cool. And Garrett Nussheimer dropping to the seventh round, which was crazy. But I mean, I'm not really that surprised because he didn't really do anything in college. But the Commanders draft, I really, really like the Commanders draft. I have it pulled up right now on who they picked, so we can talk about that for a little moment. So in round 1, they went Sonny Styles. Round 3, they went Antonio Williams from Clemson. Round 5, they went Joshua Josephs, the edge from Tennessee. Round 6, they went Katron Allen, from the running back from Penn State. And then with their other 6th-round pick, they went Matt Golden from Michigan State, the center, the transfer from Wake Forest. And then in the 7th round, they went with Ethan Kalamakis. I probably mispronounced that. My bad. The quarterback from Rutgers, the transfer from Minnesota. Like I said, I have nothing really negative to say about the draft. It was a cool draft. Adam Peters did a fine job, but I just want to talk about what I would have did if I was the GM. In round 1, like I said, if you watch my mock draft, I definitely would have went Caleb Downs. I would have went Caleb Downs. I feel like he is a very good prospect that has a very low chance to be a bust. I feel like Sonny Styles, he is not a complete player right now. I watched the press conferences with Adam Peters and Sonny Styles, and what they talked about was that he's just scratching the surface. He is not a better player than Caleb Downs right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm very big on drafting players that will produce right now in the first round. I don't know if Sonny Styles can do that. He still has a lot to work on, especially in coverage. I would have went Caleb Downs. I'm not mad at the Sonny Styles pick. I like Sonny Styles. I think he'll be a great player eventually, but me personally, I would have went with Caleb Downs. The best player on the board, in my opinion, though, was definitely Ruben Bain, but we didn't need Ruben Bain since we just gave $100 million to Adafe Owowe, $12 million to Kelevon Chasen, and we're still paying Dorrance Armstrong. Now, Dorrance Armstrong and Kelevon Chasen is on a 1-year deal, pretty much. After this year, there's no money tied to them, but I would have went Caleb Downs. In the 3rd round, though, I would have went with Wade Woodaz. This would be the linebacker I would have picked instead of Sonny Styles. I would have went Wade Woodaz in the 3rd round. Wade Woodaz was the heart and soul of the Clemson defense. The first game I seen of him was Week 1 versus LSU, and he impressed me for that game and for the rest of the season. I don't think you need to go linebacker in round 1. I don't think linebackers are one of those positions that you need to invest a lot of money on. I don't think you need to give a whole bunch of money to a linebacker. I don't think you need to draft a linebacker in the top 10. I feel like you can get really good value with linebacker down the board, especially in the draft. So I would have went with Wade Woodaz in the 3rd. In the 5th round, I would have went with Caden Curry. I would have went with Caden Curry instead of the guy that we got from Tennessee. Caden Curry had 11 sacks at Ohio State. Caden Curry was a dog, especially in that playoff game in the championship game, the Big Ten championship game against Indiana. He had an amazing game. He had a good game against Miami. I thought it would have been tremendous value to get him in the 5th. So to recap, we would have fixed our safety problem, because we do have a safety problem. Quan Martin, I think he'll be better in the slot, like he kind of was in Illinois. We would have went Wade Woodaz in the 3rd. That would have been fixing our linebacker problem. And then in the 3rd round, we would have got Caden Curry, which would have been great edge depth. So that's 3 holes filled right there. That's what I would have did. Then I would have went Katron Allen in the 6th. I really, really like the Katron Allen pick. Running back room with Bill, Rashad White, and Katron Allen. That's a really good, in my opinion, running back core, you have Katron would be the power back, Rashad White would be receiving back, Bill Krosky Merritt, he'll be like the more just the regular running back. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that would have been good. And then I really did like the Matt Golden pick in the 6th round. We did need center. Our starting center right now is Nick Allegretti. We need depth behind him. Matt Golden was a good pick. I have no problem with that. In the 7th round, I would have went Aiden Fisher. He was a linebacker from Indiana. He was number 4 on that championship winning team. I definitely would have doubled up on linebacker. I feel like drafting Wade Woodess and Aiden Fisher would have made up for that instead of getting Sonny Styles. But I think Aiden Fisher is going to be a good linebacker. The only thing with him is he's not the most athletic, but he has the IQ, he has the motor, he has the intensity, he has everything that you want in a linebacker. Can you fix athleticism? Not necessarily, but maybe you can put him in better places on the defense where he wouldn't be on one-on-ones with the running back or receivers or things like that. And then I did want to talk about 2 undrafted free agents who I would have signed. So we drafted a quarterback in the 7th round. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just signed Sawyer Robertson in free agency. That's what I would have did. I just would have given him a big bonus. I would have made sure he would have came to my team. Boom. I would have left it at that. And I would have went Aaron Anderson from LSU, the receiver from LSU, and I would put him in the slot. I'm not saying he will start, but I'm saying I'll put him in the slot instead of drafting Antonio Williams in the 3rd. But that's what I would have did. You know what I'm saying? And I really do like what I came up with for this draft. I thought that this is a really good draft that I came up with. That if the Commanders would have did, I thought they would have won the draft. You know what I'm saying? Lastly, though, I did want to talk about some of my favorite picks, though. I really did like Bud Clark from TCU. He was one of my guys that I had in my notes. And he went to the Seahawks in the 2nd round. So I thought that was a really good pick. And I really did like the Aiden Fisher and Wade Woodess pick. They both went to the Texans. The Texans, our defense is going to be scary this year. It was scary last year. It's going to be even better this year. The Texans, they also were one of my draft winners. The Texans did really, really good. The Browns, they ended up signing Aaron Anderson in undrafted free agency, which was a good steal for them because, you know, they also got Denzel Boston and Casey Sepion. I think I mispronounced his name, but the Browns, they definitely were one of my draft winners. And then the Colts, they got Curry from Ohio State, who I liked. So I think there was a lot of picks, you know, that I wish the Commanders would have did. I would have loved for us to get away with as Aaron Anderson, Aiden Fisher. But, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, only time will tell if I'm right or wrong. I'm going to look back at this video in a couple years and I'll see if the players that I like succeeded or if they failed. And then if they failed, then I will learn from my mistakes and I won't fail in 5 years. So that's just how I look at it. But if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I got more videos coming out soon. You know, I just got to finish this semester of college. Got to finish strong, things like that. But, yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.